Okay, let's start the regular meeting of the Cold Spring Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm Eric Worth, the chair. With me is Mary Ann Remy and John Martin. Three members constitute a quorum. Billy Field said he could not make it, and Robert Ferreira will be here later. Two items on the agenda, two public hearings. Let's start with 1 Depot Square. Let me look here at do we have a affidavit of the sign placement? You completed that?
There's one right next to you.
Is it something that
This-
you?
this-
That's actually my address.
Oh,
Maybe I have to complete that.
You both need to.
Yeah.
Okay. It's simply a statement that attesting that the sign, the notice sign was placed in front of the property up until today.
I certainly can attest to it. Well,
Okay, so we just need you to sign. Can
yeah, I can.
we get a printout of that? And the other formality involves the mailing receipts for the second round of mailings. Did you turn that in or? You have it at the end?
It should be at the bottom of your file.
Here we go. They're stamped July 8th. Was that the first round of mailing or the second? There would have been a second round. Like,
Want to know something? You're correct. I have the wrong printout.
Are you aware if they've been sent out a second time, the notice?
I want to confirm that.
Okay.
I believe they have. Okay.
They were sent and received. Abigail confirmed.
he's bringing it.
Say July 20th.
Yeah, it's the second.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Would you mind filling in the property location at the top, there are those two boxes, property location and date, approximate date of beginning is. It only needs to be 10 days in advance of the hearing.
Yeah, because this is confirmation as to when the sign was placed. Probably before then, but that's something that usually went out to people.
So that's what's on here, correct?
Beautiful, thank you. Great. Okay. So a notice of this hearing was published in the August 6th issue of the PCNR, satisfying the notice requirement. Mailing receipts are in order. The sign affidavit is received, and this proposal concerns a setback variance, so it's a type 2 action under SECRA by definition and exempt from environmental review. Cold Spring law requires that all ZBA applications be referred to the planning board for comment, and the planning board has responded with this comment about this application. The planning board supports the variances sought for the current site plan. We find it both reasonable in scope and unlikely to negatively impact any villager, given the rear setback is against MTA property. Signed, Jesse St. Charles, Chair, Planning Board. Right, and were there any written comments from the public? No comments. All right. So Jamie, would you mind introducing yourself and giving us a presentation of what's involved in this proposal?
My name is Jamie Copeland. I'm an architect with Hudson Design. The owner has asked that we present a location for a pavilion that is respectful of the margin that is in front of the right of way. So we took the profile of the front of the building and used that same margin as sort of the authentic recreation of the streetscape. What it did require is that the back corner extend into this setback 3 feet. As you can see, though, the depot building itself is quite a bit. It's about 10 feet back into the setback. We thought that maintaining the streetscape was important, yes, for the the nature of the neighborhood and the fact that this is an historic building.
All right, so, just to be clear, the required setback here is 10 feet, and you're proposing 7-foot setback, so a variance of 3 feet is what's about.
Yes.
At the closest corner of that building, it's further.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's actually, it's at a little bit of an angle, so it's,
Yeah, this is the most that it
right.
extends is 3 feet.
Do you know
It
that
tapers to,
the dimension at the other end setback?
it actually meets the, let's see, it tapers down and it meets the existing.
Jamie, it's approximately 3 feet into it.
At
The southwestern end as well.
We go over at about 3 feet from the front of the pavilion. So it's on average of about 9 square.
You can see this line
Right.
goes to the
Mhm.
corner.
Yeah.
And the part that extends in, at its most extreme is 3 feet.
Right. And
Yeah, I think you have this, but this is a.
Oh.
The other this. You would use it. That's the pavilion that's going in. It's roughly in the same era as the station itself.
Well, is that mostly oak glass that or open? Um,
It's meant as an outdoor pavilion.
It is all the glass is removed.
So it's
And
either,
it does have a number of doors and vents and. So about,
it looks like a lot of windows, what, all this, is that
would be-
correct?
That would be glass or open. If it's if they remove, it's all an open
Because
pavilion.
that seems relevant to the question of intrusion, intruding into the setback. If the building is largely windows, it definitely reduces any,
the visual impact
yeah.
allows more light through.
Findings of it's the original survey. And that's the actual image that's taken. There was a request from Al Zelinsky that it could be a little subdued, so we've gone back and reduced the filigree and the amount of tracery that's on the building.
But the length of it is what faces the street. The length of the structure.
Yes.
What faces the front. Which is pretty obvious. I don't have really any question.
Yeah, it's pretty, straightforward and. So it's, that entire side is MTA property behind the rear of behind the rear property line, it's all MTA.
And yet they deal with a building that's almost twice its length in the main structure that's right on the property line virtually. And the other structure is mostly a brick structure, pretty solid as compared to this. It'll be sort of more of an open view skate. You plan on using the structure in the wintertime with the windows and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any members of the public attending by Zoom? Okay, so we can conclude there are no public comments either in writing or in person.
So would this end up adding additional seating for the restaurant?
It would, but it's gonna be used for events.
For events, right? And I guess, you know, as far as parking is concerned, which we're not necessarily dealing with.
That's not us,
more of
yeah.
the Planning board.
Yeah, that's not our problem.
Well, we have before,
Well, we've settled that with the planning board as well.
yeah, I imagine.
Okay, well, if board members have no other questions, we can go through the 5 factors. New York law requires us to look at the application from 5 angles. Number 1 is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties by the granting of the area variance. John, what do you think?
Well, haven't really ever said this much, but I actually believe it'll add to the character of the neighborhood. You know, most particularly, it follows virtually the same height of the other structure, if not below it. It's sort of a passive view, glass structure that doesn't, you know, allows light through it. And it doesn't appear to be oversized. It's not substantially into the rear yard setback. The other building is much more so, but it, you know, to some extent that's grandfathered in, but because it's a new structure, we have to consider it. So I think it's not a detriment.
Mary Ann?
Not a detriment.
Okay. And I agree with everything John said. Number 2, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. So is there any other way to achieve this goal without an area variance? It seems like the only option would be to reduce the size of the structure so that it doesn't intrude into the side yard. So I would answer yes, there is, and it's you know, whether that's even necessary, you know, whether the gain from doing that is, whether the harm from not doing that is make it worth reducing the scale is, you know, I don't think so. So, but yes, I think there is another method for having a pavilion there without getting variance. And also the pavilion could be shifted forward, which would mean disrupting the alignment that Jamie spoke of. And that's a cost, that's a detriment in itself. So although there are alternatives, they are either of very little value or detrimental in themselves. Go ahead.
Could I speak? This pavilion is a replica of that era, and it's available in this size. That's if we were building it from scratch. Yes, but it is a item that has been replicated and comes in this size.
Is that because of the dining use of it, or?
It's just this is available as a
Prefab sort of?
yeah, well, it's a kit, but it is based on I think it's a Lord and Burnham building that is historic.
Like, we could note that.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Mary Ann, do you have anything on this point?
No, I wouldn't have anything to add, but the question is always, could the results be achieved in another way? And I think you just answered that.
So are you saying yes or no under this, for whether the benefit can be sought by some other method.
I'd say no.
John?
Well,
I believe it could always be sought by some other method to conform. But in this case, it's taking 3 feet into the rear yard setback. It's meeting its design, it's staying flush, as you indicated, to the street side with the other building. So there are some pluses and minuses to that, even though it does, there are always other ways you can do it.
So, yes, there is another method, but it is,
Offset.
it's, all other methods come with problems.
Right, but this has fewer problems than most applications we see. Even though that's a general statement, it's true.
Right, so that kind of a mixed, conclusion under this.
But it's also because the Metro North is on one side and there's no like residential property or commercial property on the other side that's particularly affected by this.
So that reduces the need to seek alternative methods, you mean?
That's my opinion.
Number 3, whether the requested variance is substantial. Mary Ann?
no, and I think for the reasons that you were just saying, John. Because of where, it backs up to the MTA property, it doesn't affect any residences, it doesn't affect what people see visually when they're in front, so I'd say no.
So, yeah, okay. John?
And, I would say no, because, at one point it's 30% into the, rear yard setback. And while the building is a long one, rectangularly, it's also a see-through one with windows. So I think, as far as setback concerns and why they're there, I think there's less of a compelling reason with the Metro North back there and other structures of either residential or commercial character not being impacted. So I think that, by measurement, it's small, and by overall consideration, it's even, less
Even so.
effective.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Numerically and in its effect, it's
Mhm.
not substantial. Number 4, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. I would say no, it will not have any. John?
Yeah, agreed, for the same reasons we've really been saying.
Mary Ann?
No,
And
No.
again, I think it almost is going to add to a
Yeah.
better character of the neighborhood. I think there's even a positive side to the architectural design.
Number 5 and last, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. And self-created in the technical sense of, was it imposed on the applicant, or did the applicant, is it a result of the applicant's choice? And I would say, as 90% or 99% of cases, yes, it was self-created because the applicant is choosing to build a pavilion. So yes, John,
Agreed.
Mary Ann.
agree.
That final point, number 5, is the least influential of the 5, because, as I said, almost all applications count as self-created. So in the end, 3 of the considerations weighed in favor of the application. 1 was arguably mixed, and the last one, number 5, was against, but that's the weakest of them all. So before we proceed to a decision, let me make a motion to close the public hearing.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, hearing is closed, and we'll, anyone wanna propose a decision based on those
Right, a balancing of those.
thoughts? Yeah,
thoughts.
balancing of those thoughts.
Right. You want a full balance statement or just simply a motion?
If you feel, yeah, if you feel like you have one on the tip of your tongue.
Okay, yeah.
Then we can adopt it if it sounds good.
Right, I'd simply say that the variance rear yard setback sort of 3 feet at one particular end, it's not as significant at the southwest end. Would be 30% of the rear yard setback at most. But it's sort of offset by the fact that, it's trying to conform with the front of the building. It fits certainly, I believe, within the character of the neighborhood as well as Cold Spring historic purpose of having sort of these antiquated design looks. I don't believe, like, it's hard to say anything more other than the fact that it's all glass, but majority of it's glass. It's just otherwise an iron support structure. So it really doesn't steal too much in the way of pass through light. It's not a dense structure. So and I don't, no neighbors are particularly affected by it. No commercial or residential. It backs up to what would be probably a hazardous location on the railroad tracks. So I don't know what else to add if you want to add anything to that.
I would only emphasize more than you did the nature of the neighbor in this case, which is the railroad tracks, and how the whole issue here is simply the setback. We're really not charged with considering anything else. Is it a problem that this building is on one corner is 3 feet over farther than it should be? And when you consider the neighbor, the nature of the neighbor, it's just overwhelmingly makes that concern evaporate, because it is so there is so little detriment given that neighbor. So I would, with that alone, to me, just makes the proposal gives me no concern at all.
So I would move to grant the variance as requested. Based on that roundup.
I second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it passes.
Thank
you.
Now,
Would you break the ground? Not sure.
so I will, we'll draft and vote at our next meeting. We'll vote on the formal resolution. But it's been approved. You'll get a copy when it's on.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Did you want to keep any of these extra copies? Mindful?
Sure, if
Right. What do you think? We don't have to give it all 5 copies, right? Certainly.
I don't know what, do you, Abigail, do you need any of these copies that can be taken? You have some.
We have 2 copies if
So,
possible.
right? So I didn't know if you wanted any extra of those.
But there's 4 here now, so.
Yeah, so take those two, right? And we'll save the 2 that we handled here.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Is that good, Eric? Or was-
Yeah, sure. Well, Robert.
Sorry.
Right.
Robert, what's on my map?
Anything that went.
Oh, right.
It's a good
By the way,
time.
there is something extra in that packet. Yeah, can you pull that out? Yeah, one of them is an additional application. You'll see the difference between the 2.
Oh,
That's what, yeah, that's one of them.
man, that was.
Yeah.
You want to affect the.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure. of the number.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have the Parrott Street anymore.
Uh-oh.
well, you don't have it either.
Yeah,
Maybe I should.
there's probably one here.
No, we're.
So, yeah, there's probably just one in there.
That's all right.
Good.
Thank you.
And then, yeah, just,
Thank you again for your time.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, we've been joined by Robert Ferreira. we just finished one, 1 Depot Square, so you're just in time for the second one. I still just have, everything I have here, I have 3 copies of 1 Depot Square. Hey, what's this? That's what it is.
Yeah, leave it mine and I could share with John. if you want.
Okay.
There should be an extra. Because he did leave behind everything else.
These are all the restaurant, all Depot.
Need a copy?
Yeah, why don't I hand you,
Parrott Street, just Parrott. Street. Looks like there's one here.
yeah, I can hand you this if you don't have it. And if we can, Mariana can share that.
So the next item is public hearing on 51 Parrott Street. Do we have mailing receipts?
You might need it. There you go.
Okay.
Hey, Rob.
Okay, thank you.
Is this a-
Sorry to stretch over you like this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is an.
I have hard copies of receipts if you want.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Okay. We don't need them. Copies
Oh,
are
yeah.
one.
Yeah, you got them right
got
there.
it.
Also now have a.
Okay, the mailing receipts are here. They're dated more than 10 days ago. And that you have the affidavit for the sign. Right, do you have a copy of this Abigail, this affidavit?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
The affidavit is in, and a notice of this hearing was published in the August 6th issue of the PCNR. The planning board provided its comment on this application, which reads, "The planning board has no comment on this application." Signed, Jesse St. Charles, Chair, Cold Spring Planning Board. All right, good. Were there any written comments from the public?
No comment.
No written comments came in. So let's open the public hearing. Introduce yourself and tell us what your proposal is.
So my name is Matthew O'Donnell, and I'm proposing to remove an existing shed I have on my property and install a 17 by 20 garage in the same location. To do so, I need to install the garage 2 feet within my side yard setback.
Okay, so the setback should be 5 feet. You'll be going in 2 feet, leaving leaving 3 feet of an actual setback. So tell us why you could not place this garage farther out 5 feet.
So, short answer is I know that my property does not qualify for a narrow yard, I believe is the technical term in town. However, it is still a slim yard, and moving it farther into the center of the property drastically takes away from the use of the rest of the space. And also, given that it's a garage, there's no cars in it, and if it's in the middle of the property, I'm not gonna be able to get cars in or out.
You'll be extending the driveway to meet this garage.
Correct.
I walked by there and, noticed it's on the plan here, there's a frame shed on the neighboring property that's right up, almost right up against the property line.
Right.
And will be directly adjacent to your new garage, so there's essentially, the neighbor essentially has a similar building already right there.
Almost the same size. Yeah. I mean, in the sense of going, what is it? It'd be, yeah, north to south.
And when I walk by, I also noticed several other properties have accessory buildings like what you were proposing. That kind of garage-like building, small garage-like building behind the house, way over, almost on the property line. The common historical feature in the old neighborhoods around here.
You know what the height of your existing shed is?
Height of the
You
existing
said it was
shed,
about 7 feet, or
9 feet to the peak.
9 feet to the feet, and the proposed new shed is, or the garage?
Which new one? It's in there. I don't remember off the top
Oh,
of my
12 feet, 12 and 11, 16 is 12 and a half feet,
head, the peak.
so like 3 feet difference. And the height of the neighboring, you know,
I didn't get a measurement of it, but it's about that.
Okay, I mean, the interesting thing I note is that, well, the way the roof is gonna go, they're not gonna face a wall of a roof on the top. They're just gonna see the slant on the sides, the neighboring property.
Yeah, that's,
The pitch of the roof. Yeah, it goes north-south, so the neighboring property
the
is,
neighbor will face the gable,
yeah,
the gable end.
which allows more light in the area.
Were you able to have any photographs?
So right here from different perspectives.
Great.
I tried to, without going on to anyone's property, take everything. So this is that existing structure they're mentioning. One of the things, as I'm sure you noticed, Parrott Street's on a hill. So their structure, will be about the same height as mine, but it will be higher up. Right,
So is that your
Yes.
neighboring one? Okay.
correct. So it's looking at 49 Parrott Street.
And relative to this, is this the shed itself, your shed?
This is my shed.
Oh, that's your shed, okay,
Yeah.
got it,
That's their structure.
got it, got it.
Keeping you out of the-
So it is actually near 12 feet on their roof
Yeah.
cable, probably.
So this is the corner of 7 and 9 Bank Street. You can see there's other accessory structures here too.
How far is that from you? Is that
Which one?
is that a neighbor to you?
Yes, they're both. So 9 is directly behind my property, 7's just offset of it.
So that was this shed right there. And
Uh,
you said 9 was directly behind your.
Yes, and then 7 has 2 other accessory structures, right where like the 23 is, and
Yeah.
then another one behind
Got
that. I also have Google Satellite and also just Google Maps in general, because they show satellite with all the trees, it's hard to see it. So this is me. There's the accessory building at 49 that we were talking about. And then this is 7, this is 9. This is an accessory structure, and so is that as well.
Is that tree on your property, the big tree near that shed behind the current shed?
So there's a few. So there's this tree here, this tree, which is on the neighbor's property, and then this pine, which is also on the neighbor's property.
Yeah,
You like stories?
when you're done, pass them down.
I'll do it. Yes.
What is this giving you a view of?
So this is from, I tried to take it from a relevant location. So this is from 49 Parrott Street. That's again, that accessory structure, right?
Your shed to the left then.
Right, this is my driveway.
Oh, okay, got it,
See.
got it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
took it from here because if you take it from the street, the driveway's rise up, you
Yeah.
can't see it at all.
Got it. And that, again, as you say, is your driveway.
Right.
That will
And
continue
you'll
on.
be extending that driveway to the.
Yeah.
You want? did
So
you-
this
did you
is
see all this?
what,
Yeah.
what,
So this is 7, and that's 9 Bank Street?
behind you.
Correct.
Okay.
This is his shed currently up against that other.
Right.
And your existing shed is it set back properly or it's not?
No. My existing shed is actually on the property line.
Yeah.
So I'm moving, theoretically, I'm moving the new structure.
Get more compliance.
Right.
So you saw that there where. This is the street, so it comes in here.
Mhm.
It's,
Yep.
and there's the neighboring.
Yep.
Not sure if Eric see that.
It's a little bit easier to see if you want to look at just the standard map,
Oh, yeah.
because the trees block it all out. So that's their existing shed. Not that Google's a credible source, but they show it kind of straddling the property line.
Oh, wait.
They don't even show yours.
Right.
Didn't that. Jeez. Nothing is.
This is,
Oh, that's helpful. That's the driveway, the old shed,
okay.
the old shed.
That's the neighbors. Right.
And I imagine the door will face the driveway and it'll go straight into your.
Right. Yep. I have a man door on the back of it, just honestly more for airflow than anything else.
Sure.
But yeah.
Abigail, has anyone joined the Zoom call? All right, so we'll conclude again, no comments from the public in writing or in person.
This one type 2 as well.
Yes, I forgot to say that, but in that it's a setback variance, it's by definition type 2. Your secra does not require environmental review. Any other comments or questions?
Looks straight, well,
Yeah.
looks straightforward.
All right, well.
So it's well put together.
Make a motion that we close the public hearing.
That,
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Okay. Before we go over the 5 factors, I'll point out, it's worth noting that we had a very similar application in 2021, which the board approved, and that was on 15 Orchard Street, also accessory building where there was no existing building, a new garage that was just 1 foot from the property line behind the house, and same, almost exactly the same dimensions of a building as well. So every application is unique, but it's noteworthy that we approved that one, and on the argument that that type of building is in character in the old neighborhoods. It's typical. It's, does not disrupt the fabric of the neighborhood. So, let's go over the 5 factors. Number 1 is whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created by the granting of the area variance. Mary Ann?
Say no, it's actually, given the condition of your current shed, it's an improvement to the neighborhood. I can't see how it would be a detriment.
John?
I wouldn't see any basis to call it a detriment to the neighborhood because of the adjoining neighbor that would be most affected because of that location of the setbacks out here has a similar structure, similar size, similar height.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing you can say is that it adds more bulk to the overall appearance of the neighborhood if you're walking down the streetscape. But on the whole, it doesn't outweigh me saying it doesn't really have a significant detriment, considering the neighborhood.
Yeah, this is the best picture,
Mhm.
very helpful.
Mhm.
Yes.
I agree. Any detriment is minimal. I mean, it's always a detriment when you make an exception to zoning. And the new code reduced the side setback for this very reason. It used to be 10. It was reduced to 5 on the grounds that people want to do things like this. So we're violating even the 5 here. So that's the only detriment really, and it's minimal. So 2 feet is not.
And I forgot to add, if you don't mind me saying, that the current shed structure, although smaller, is close to the property line. And so there'll be more space actually, once that shed's removed to the new structure when it goes in.
More of it, there'll be more of a angle of view from the street
Right.
back through. Okay. That's a valuable point. All right, so this factor, which is one of the more important ones, comes down in favor of the application.
Robert, what do you think?
Oh, Robert,
Yeah, it seems an improvement to the neighborhood, and the shed there looks like kind of a disaster. That's there right now.
It's got about 3 walls left.
And yeah, and it's heading more in compliance than
Mhm.
further away from compliance. And has your neighbor have an opinion on this?
No, they're in support of it.
They're in support of it.
right? Number 2, whether the benefit sought by the applicant can be achieved by some other method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than an area variance. Robert?
To, the only other thing is if you would cut your car in, you know, you would be offset, right? I assume that's why you're wanting to go where you are. I guess you could always say it could be over, but yeah, I don't know that these couple of feet with the neighbor in agreement with it getting closer to compliance would warrant having to angle into property.
So yes, but not warranted given the compromise involved.
Yeah, I think it's compromised, but
John?
Well, just as Robert says, it can always be done
Yeah.
differently. There is a yard back there and everybody wants to try to keep as much yard as they want. But that usually comes to the detriment of the neighbor in certain, as far as you want to push it up, but here you have a structure facing it. So the other, whether or not it's feasible, if you were to move the garage over further to behind, you'd have more blacktop surface back there. And, you know, I'm not sure if that's an advantage or not. And of course, it'd be more of an expense to the owner. So it would work away from the feasibility.
Yeah, so yeah, the usual, yes, if there is it's feasible, but it carries costs and detriments of its own.
And it also might be out of symmetry with the neighbors, the way they usually put their structures.
Right, right. Mary Ann?
I think I would agree with what's been said, feasible, but I'd say not worth it. Not warranted.
I agree with all those comments too. Number 3, whether the requested area variance is substantial. Mary Ann?
When we think about that, do we think about what's there now and compare it to the new plan, or just is this substantial?
In itself,
In
just in
itself.
itself.
The new structure.
The new
Yeah.
structure? Oh,
It's just the, not the structure overall, whether the structure overall is substantial, but whether the
The-
variance part,
right.
Right,
like the 2 feet in,
to a 5-foot setback. So I
yeah,
guess
is that substantial?
So. Yes, I mean, it's cutting off 2 feet of the setback.
Mhm.
And it's not a large structure, but it is a structure that is size.
I would agree, yes. Going from 5 to 3 is a large proportion. Robert?
Taking into account that it abuts another structure that's right there, yes, 2 of 5 is a lot, but you're not encroaching on someone else's playground, someone else's yard. It's just butting up against another structure, which to me seems,
Yeah.
That kind of gets to the old, we often break this down as yes numerically, but no in its effect,
yeah.
a negligible effect.
If it was going next to the kids that are playing next door, I would be willing to say that it's a lot, maybe more to ask. If it's abutting another structure.
Don?
It is 40% into the setback, and which is substantial. And it runs for a distance of 20 feet. So I would say that would be substantial. There are some offsetting points, as Robert mentioned. And there was something else I was going to add, and I'm just blanking on it right now. So.
Okay, well, so generally, yes, substantial. Number 4, whether the proposed variance will have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood or district. And I would say no, nothing worth dwelling on. This is just not that kind of project. John?
I agree for the same reasons. Again, it's going to add a little bit more bulk to the back, but it's not substantial. It mimics what the neighboring structure looks like, so it's not out of conformity.
Robert?
It's improvement. Yeah, I don't think it's having a negative impact on the environment or the neighborhood.
Mary Ann?
No,
No. Last, whether the alleged difficulty was self-created. Mary Ann? I know it's your favorite question.
no, that's not my favorite one,
You like the substantial one.
but yeah, that's my favorite one. Yes, because they're,
Previously mentioned.
yeah.
John?
It is.
Yeah,
Robert?
Question is, was it caused by the owner of the property?
Yes, that's what self-created means, whether it resulted from a voluntary choice by the owner to take an action.
Well, yeah. Action, yeah.
It's almost always.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
In
I
part,
want to make sure I heard that right. It seems like there's only one. Yeah.
yeah, in part, it takes into account that the owner bought the property as is,
No.
and And now they want to change it, they want to approve it, but they also want to go into side yard setback, and that's what I wanted to remember before when I talked about the 40%. Used to be 10 feet
Yeah.
setback. So once you start encroaching into a 5-foot setback by 40%, that's really a lot from what we were used to dealing with. Like you said, this law or this code has only been changed about 2 years ago. So for like the 16 years prior that I was sitting on the board, that would have been 80%. Would have been near about 70%.
Yeah, you mean if it went from requirement of 10 feet to
Three.
reducing it to 3?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's-
I'm just saying, that's not,
That-
that's not applicable for us, but it's still, you know, for me, for 3 feet, that's bringing it pretty close. And I think that, but, you know, it's for the trustees to write the code, so.
Right, well, I mean, clearly their thinking is we should not be so stingy about the side yard. We should allow smaller side yard setbacks than they used to be. So that's the direction that the trustees wanted to go, which is in keeping with the historical style, historical layout of these old narrow lots.
And I think there's another point, and you already brought it up, the applicant has said that it's just, while it's not by definition a narrow lot, it is pretty much narrow. So it just limits where you can really put things.
Right.
And I think we probably add that in somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a 50-foot lot, right, width? Yes.
That distinguishes this application from another similar one, which is the one on Marion Avenue. Same kind of request, accessory building, garage in back, close to the setback, close to the property line. And those two factors you just mentioned were different in that case.
Right.
It's a wide lot, more modern wide lot, and it was in part of a development that's modern and did not have these historical tradition of accessory buildings right up against the property line, unlike Parrott Street. So whereas the Orchard Street where we did accept it, those two factors are comparable to Parrott Street.
And I think we just make a note of that the width of the property, while not within the definition narrow, is only 50 feet wide. It sort of, again, limits the owner.
That falls under the heading of feasible.
Yeah.
It reduces the feasibility of
Right.
alternatives. So, number one, weighed in favor. Number two, feasible alternatives weighed weakly against, in a weak way against, in that there are alternatives, but they have detriments of their own and they're not, which makes them not warranted or not attractive. Number three, weighed against, that's the substantiality. Number four, adverse effect, weighed in favor. And number five, self-created, which is the least significant, that weighed against. So we have 2 for, 2 against, and 3 against, but 2 of them weak. The only strong against is the substantiality. That's the only factor that is important. Comes out strongly against the application. So what is the, which way are you leaning?
I would grant,
Leaning toward granting?
mostly because it's comparable to the rest of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's right up against another structure similarly. The lot is narrow. The roof line is not that tall. And it was 17 feet wide. It's not a particularly wide structure either.
Yeah, I think it's, the applicant took pains to keep the project reasonable in scale and modest and within the tradition of the neighborhood. the character, preserving the character, and that's really the ultimate thing here. The neighbor has not objected. And so I would agree.
And one last thing, we're removing an old shed that's closer.
Right.
to the property.
So it's something already there, which he could have just repaired that, and kept it there. He has the right to do that. So there's already a building there that could be permanent.
And closer to the property line.
Right.
Right.
So
Okay.
I would move to, under the discussion we just had, and unless somebody wants to offer anything else that rounds out the
I'm in
conversation.
Favor of granting.
All right. So John has made a motion to accept under those, for those reasons. I will second the motion. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Unanimous approval? So,
Thank you all very much.
no,
thank you.
you still have to go back now and get the building permit.
Right. Right. So, what do I need to do to communicate to them that there's been people?
That I've always not really been clear on whether, how does the building, the CDO or the building department
Do you want to give
learn
the
that, hearings?
Great, thank you.
With the resolution.
That's not.
The only thing I'm stealing from you is this, I'll give you the whole thing over to you.
You'd probably like to get going.
You can, I can confirm more if you want.
Yeah, I was just gonna hold on to this, recite, certain things. Because as you heard, we were crossed to another property.
There's.
I imagine this is a common thing that people want to
Format
do.
that
Given
you-
the way the.
Right, well, they're like, why did you get them and
Yeah, I've never.
So we have to come up with reasons.
Right.
Not that we're into denying.
No, I get it.
Following
There's a standard
the code
down
and
that you gotta follow.
Is, Jeff Adakovich.
because we're paid so much, that's what I'm trying.
Contract now for.
Yeah, the horses went.
Yeah, exactly.
Racing from a Boy Scout thing that they don't get paid for to this and then.
Oh. You're,
You working with Paul Wynn at all?
I was over those.
He,
Okay, good, good.
Helping out over
at.
there.
Nice, good for you, man.
So.
We got the scouts before us tomorrow. I do the state park stuff too. Put hundreds of hours into that every year, hundreds.
What I do is I take.
As you know, I do other things, which I should wait till they're all offline.
Yeah.
There just needs to be a document that communicates that. In case it's conditioned on. See, there and that.
But by the way, should we, end the hearing or do we have any other business?
Well, yeah, let's see, is there any other business? No.
nope.
Nope, all right then. I move that we close the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, meeting over.
Thank you, Eric, for putting everything together. Appreciate it.
I was just talking with Abigail about your question. Why don't you, put your, are you eager to get moving, like,